International Media TV. Television that listens to you.
Hi, I'm Johnnie Burrell. Welcome to the program.
Pastor Walker, congratulations with this accomplishment. You were pretty much an influence on this project even coming to life. How do you feel about that?
Well, I'm extremely excited, so excited I know what to do. People say, so excited I don't know what to do. I said, no, let's do that. One is because I'm a member of the Tabernacle Community Development Corporation. Also, I pastored the True Hope Church of God in Christ for 50 years. I represented Tabernacle to help all these projects get approved, and I had a dream that one day we needed the development like this for seniors, for low income, and for this to have happened. That's why I'm so excited, and to see the beauty of this complex, and people I know and families I know that are moving in here. And one point I'd like to make: the old Double Rock. There's 56 units over there, so did a replacement housing here, and as far as I know, all those people are out of there, that old dilapidated one, and this brand new one. And I asked 2 or 3 families, would you compare the difference between being in the old product and this new one? They say heaven.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
I met a few of the people who were going to transition from the old house to the new house.
Right.
And I was impressed with the fact that not only did you create a brand new community, but there are people who actually help build this complex that are going to benefit from residents here. I mean, did you have an influence on making sure that the local community here also got jobs as they're building their community?
Yes, I did. We act as consultants for screening people, sending them over here. Now, the total amount of people, I think around 700, and I think around 300 of them was from Baby Hunters Point, and we recommended. I had a person bring them over and all that. So I talked to Mayor Newsom when we was getting this project approved, because always in the media, in the news, talking about the poor, low-income neighborhood, Baby Hunters Point. That was continuously. So in turn, now that's over. You understand? And people got the jobs in here, and then there was new housing, and it is totally a complete. And that's why I'm so excited to be here today to participate and see this happening.
Right. So besides local hiring, you were also instrumental in making sure that was workforce development through training. And a lot of these guys are now going to have jobs as a result, even after the complex is completed. How could you contribute more in the future for similar projects where workforce development and job retention is attained?
Both before it's approved, when they're going to the Planning Commission, going to the Board of Supervisors, sit down with the leadership and jam them. Now, there's another one it's just been approved. I was there to speak, help them at Indian Basin. And they're planning on hiring around 500 people from this community to this neighborhood. Also, the 25% will be for low income, because as you know, there's a crisis in California and San Francisco as far as affordable low income housing. So I've learned to go before they get the project approved. Go there and get a commitment, get them to know me. That's what I did about this one. That's what I'm doing about that project.
Get everybody contracted to deliver, essentially, is what you're saying.
Yes, ma'am. Let me make another point. See, one of the things that's happening here is they was hiring people outside of San Francisco. Now, according to San Francisco, any project come here got to hire from San Francisco and from that community or for that neighborhood. So I found out they wasn't doing that. I brought them to the table. And immediately, this complex over here to my immediate left, they said, okay, Reverend, I had my documents showing that they was hiring people outside, and they backed off and acquiesced and hired a local contractor to do that.
Local contractors and local workforce.
Subcontractors, but they was saving money, we found out, but we ride herd on that area too as much as we can.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Pastor Walker, and congratulations one more time.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Dear Mr. Adams, I'm so proud to, introduce you to the community through this broadcast because you made such a difference in people's lives. I want to ask you, how do you feel about today, seeing the result of your hard labor?
Well, it's a great feeling. You see everybody come out from the community. We've been here since it was a dirt lot, and now you have these great buildings. And I really just love to see the workers that worked on this project, and they're coming out of their house and enjoying the festivities. That's like really special to you. It's rewarding.
I know that you surpassed all the goals that the city and even the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development that had on this project, and you doubled or tripled the actual statistics that was required. How did you do that?
Well, as you know, the Baines-Nibby joint venture, it takes it very serious about local workforce and teaching the local residents how to do construction, because you get a lot of people that are new. So our superintendents, our project managers, all staff are trained on how to get the local residents working and teach them, because some people are in construction and they know it and some don't. So we're teaching those soft skills and we're watching the numbers, and we also work real close with our subcontractors too. The local minority subcontractors make up about 80% of our local workforce, so we work close with them. We get them into them and then we track them from there. So we've been very successful. And then the city coming out with the Section 3 tracking is where we start to realize that local residents are part of the housing authority. They're working on our sites, so we track them too. So it's been really great.
Excellent. So the question I have for you, after the project is over, the residents who benefited from the project with workforce development training and also basically getting a job on the project. Now that the project is over, what do you recommend to the city especially to make sure these people can continue to develop their skills and build a career in workforce that you train them in?
Well, as you know, the city's already put out a directive to have 5,000 homes built in a certain amount of time. So right there, that's number one. Make the work, keep the economy alive. And then it takes a real good, general contractor following the requirements. Make sure the subs follow the requirements. Make sure the general contractor follow the requirements. So I would just suggest do what they keep doing. Also, they got the training programs like City Build. You got YCD that works concurrently with City Build. So you got all these programs that are working together to get people to work. That being said, once people get into work, we want these to be careers. So we want a worker to come work on one job, and then we want them to go to Mission Bay, or we want them to go downtown to these other projects and continue working. So often we say here, this is just not a job, this is a lifestyle.
And with that note, I wanted to point out that you're a natural leader and somebody who a lot of people in this community look up to, that you actually inspired to reach for the stars. Have you any ambition to run for office and really make a difference in not just Bayview, but city of San Francisco, or perhaps somewhere on the state legislature?
Well, wow, that's a good question, and I appreciate the comments you made. I would say that I'm not that type of person. I'm a businessman. What I've done is I've come up like a lot of these workers, these local residents. I started as a laborer, went through the chain, superintendent, project manager, and own my own business in Baltimore, Maryland. So I've done this, so I understand it well. As far as being a politician, probably a businessman, but our current president, if he can do it, I could be good.
Exactly. Thank you so much for your service and keep up the good work.
Thank you. It's always good to see you.
All right. Thank you. Tanya, welcome to the show today to basically congratulate the community. I'm wondering, this is your family. How has this project had a positive impact on your family members?
The impact is that they have better housing conditions, although there are some challenges with any new project. You'll have a few challenges, but the impact on the community as a whole is that they have upgraded modern conveniences. The children have healthier environments to be in, and so it's off to a good start. Still got some more work to do, but it's off to a good start.
So your sons are here. I'm curious if any one of them benefit from the housing or the workforce development opportunities that Alice Griffith Project project produced?
My youngest son has absolutely benefited from the housing. I have grandchildren that also live in the area, so they've benefited from the housing as well. Not so much from the workforce development. We really need more opportunities. Ironically, I used to run the Bayview Hope Trucking Academy, and that was a workforce development project that was here in the community until the organization that I worked for decided to close the program down for no reason at all. But it's just we need the community. Housing is great, but we need a well-rounded opportunity for the residents. Otherwise, the housing goes down, and that's not. It's just one piece of the puzzle.
The new mayor, London Breed, has indicated that her priority is housing. Any advice that you'd want to give to the mayor?
Well, that's cute, and people absolutely need some place to live, but they need sustainable jobs. We need supermarkets in the area. We need retail in the area. I mean, it's great to have the housing, but to me it's an overkill, and the housing needs to be affordable, not the median income level. It needs to be affordable for real people.
Thank you so much. And would you like to introduce your family?
So, this is my niece, Kaden. This is my nephew, Chase. Grandson, Eric. Grandson, Tariq. Grandson, Lonell Jr. My son, Timan. My son, Lonell. And my niece, Sydney.
It's a beautiful family.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work.
All right. Thank you, Lynn.
James, congratulations. You are one of the workers on this project.
Yes.
Let me ask you, how did you get the opportunity not just to create a community, but to train yourself and to develop a career in construction?
I was a part of Hope SF, the SF Achievers program through the mayor's office, and it just kind of like I had some stuff going on in my life with like some criminal evictions and stuff, and like I was just kind of looking for a way out, kind of, and like I started the Hope SF program, and it just so happened I ended up meeting Samuel there, and Samuel gave a little.
You're talking about Mr. Sam Adams?
Yeah, with Baines Group, BGI, and he gave his little sermon or speech about how he got started in construction and stuff, and like I kind of felt it, and like I felt like that's what I wanted to do. And I went and spoke with him, and he gave me his business card and things, and we made it happen. He gave me a sponsorship letter to become a carpenter. Yeah, so it's just cool. And like the high school I went to just so happened to be have a carpenter program there. So I was able
a pre-apprenticeship program?
Yeah, so I was able to get into the union with no problems.
Great. So you're now in the union. You have a career in carpentry. Are you going to be a contractor one day?
I hope to be. I want to take a construction management class and hopefully become a foreman, a superintendent, and just keep working my way up.
What is a word that you'd like to give to other young men who are looking for inspiration to do what you did, to get on the right path and to build your life?
It may not be construction, but like you're gonna find something in your life that's going to like interest you, and you're just going to enjoy doing, and you should pursue it, whatever it is, and just try to stay away from the negativity and try to just stay on your positive roll, positive vibes.
Are you proud of this project? Is it yours?
Yes, I'm very proud. I live not too far away, and I'm happy to see. I know a lot of people in the neighborhood, and I'm happy to be able to help a lot of people because they definitely needed it. So,
good job. I'm glad that you were part of it.
Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the incredible community here in Alice Griffith, on behalf of the resident leaders, the community organizations, Madam Mayor, Leader Pelosi, President Cohen, distinguished guests, residents, I welcome you all to the grand reopening of the Alice Griffith community. Thank you. My name is Theo Miller. I'm the director of Hope SF, and it gives me a great pleasure to bring up the Reverend Aurelius Walker for our invocation.
Distinguished guests and the community leaders from Baby Hunters Point, and to my brothers and sisters that are here today. What an exciting day. What an exciting day. I represent the True Hope Church next in the back of us here, and also Tabernacle Community Development Corporation. I am one of the board of directors of that particular program, and what is so exciting, all of those times, all of those years at the Planning Commission, at the Board of Supervisors, and talking in our community meeting, one of the greatest excitement that one can have to see their dreams realized. Somebody said that it is not a tragedy not to be able to continue your dream, but the greatest tragedy is not to have any dreams, not to have any hope at all. So about 50 years ago when I came to Baby Hunters Point, came down to this particular area, I saw land space and all those type, and I had a dream to do while we're here today. And today that dream is realized. Anybody here know what I'm talking about? Come on, give your great hand praise. I'm going to do the invocation, but before I do, I'd like for my grandkids just to stand, wherever you are, just to stand. My grandkids, I also have great-grandkids, about 6 of them in this complex. And my lovely wife, she didn't walk down here, she rode down here on her scooter. Would you just raise your hand? And many of you understand and know about Aurelius Walker Drive. Some of you may know about that street. Maybe you walked that particular street. And my daughter Tanya and also my daughter Deborah, where are you, Tanya? Would you just stand wherever you are, Tanya, Nadine, wherever you are? They're the one that that petitioned the board and all that to make that happen. Amen? Yes, all right. So in turn, we appreciate you here. The mayor arrived yet? She okay? I'm sorry. I was just looking forward. Yes, sir. Yes, and when I do this, I'm going to pray. All right. And also, Nancy Pelosi, that she is. We've been knowing one another a long time. Malia Cohen. So now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to pray. And prayer simply means that the leadership in San Francisco recognize that there's a God. And we just can't do it all by ourselves. We need God to help us. So in time, I'm going to ask you to bow your heads as we pray God's blessing upon this complex, upon this housing, and upon the various beautiful and wonderful things that happen. Gracious and eternal God, as we pause at this moment in the history of this particular community and city, first we want to thank you for the realization of needed low-income housing in this community. And we ask you to bless every person here and give us the wisdom and the knowledge how to continue providing low-income housing and housing for those that are in need. In thy name we pray. Thank God. Amen.
How's everybody doing? Excellent. I'm Fred Blackwell. I'm the CEO of the San Francisco Foundation. It is a real pleasure to be here. Thank you. I'm going to be brief because my job is really to introduce the mayor, which she really needs no introduction, but I'm going to do it anyway. If you really think about it, and we're really kind of facing the facts here, when you see something like this go up in the neighborhood, this nicely done, your original thought and your first thought is like, man, that's not for us. This is the kind of thing where, you know, it comes into the neighborhood and the rent's $3,000 and nobody in the community can afford it. And it ends up being one of those things that's a monument to the gentrification and displacement that is occurring in many communities throughout the Bay Area. But what this is about the exact opposite of that. And for that reason, today is very exciting. What this is about is not only doing it the right way, as Mayor Breed talks about. And the right way being a part of that is making sure that people can stay and benefit from this. But the other right part about it is that that is not an end in itself. It's an ends to a means. And that the ends to the mean, and the mean is actually trying to figure out how we as a community can make sure that every young person in this city has the opportunity to meet their full potential. And the reason why I'm so excited to be able to introduce the mayor is that's what the mayor is about. We're talking about somebody who is a native San Franciscan, someone who grew up in public housing, and somebody who I know very well because she's held my feet to the fire around this, is the person that makes sure that she uses her position and her power and her pulpit to make sure that we all do the right thing on behalf of the communities like Bayview Hunters Point. And so without any further ado, I will introduce Mayor Breed.
It is a beautiful day today. Yes. Not just because the sun is shining, because this community is shining. Yes. And I am so honored to be mayor at a time when the city is finally doing the right thing and fulfilling an old promise. Some of you know that I grew up in public housing. I grew up in Plaza East, OC, out of control projects. Y'all remember the old out of control projects. And similar to the conditions that Alice Griffith was in, Double Rock, whatever you want to call it. And similar to the conditions where I spent over 20 years of my life in those conditions. And also feeling isolated, feeling frustrated, blocks away from City Hall, feeling neglected, not feeling like my community mattered, not feeling like the resources that were all around us were making their way into our community. And when I became a member of the San Francisco Redevelopment Agency Commission, when we started down this path of looking at development in the Bayview Hunters Point community, I visited. Fred Blackwell at the time was the executive director of the Redevelopment Agency Commission. And just to step backwards for a minute, when I lived in Plaza East, when we went through the Hope 6 redevelopment, some of you remember that, we tore down 300 units, and there were only 200 units to replace those units. Many of my friends and family members never returned. And because of that devastating experience, when this project started, I made it clear to Fred Blackwell and my colleagues on the commission, we cannot repeat the same mistakes of the past. We have to do this right for this community. We have to make sure that not one person, not one family is displaced. We have to make sure that they are included in the process and that we build a community, not tear one apart. There's plenty of room around here to build a community and keep people in their community. Let's not do what they did to Plaza East and move people to Vallejo and other places outside the city, because that's really how we lost a significant population of African Americans in San Francisco. Let's not make the same mistakes. And today, we did it right. Today, we shine a light on this community. We say thank you to all the people who hung in there, all the people who showed up to the community meetings, all the people who continue to fight for one another. We know that there are challenges with violence. We know that there are challenges with lack of opportunities. We know these challenges have existed in San Francisco for some time. But working together, bringing our community together with so many incredible organizations, we are going to get the job done, and we are going to open the doors of opportunity. Today is a new day in San Francisco. And because of my experiences, which I know some of you have similar experiences, because I had an opportunity at age 14 to work for the Mayor's Youth Employment and Training Program and have people support me and encourage me and teach me right from wrong, I'm mayor today because people open the door of opportunity. Yes. And as Fred Blackwell said, we can't leave anyone behind. We have to focus on making sure that we provide this incredible housing as well as the amenities and the support and the opportunities that will make sure that this community and the next generation growing up right here in Alice Griffith, that they have the doors of opportunity open to them. We are going to change San Francisco for the better. We are going to make sure that we continue to move forward housing developments like this in a responsible way, in a way that includes the community and not tears the community apart. So I am happy to celebrate today. I'm happy to celebrate because so many people had a role in helping to make this dream a reality. It took many, many years. And some of you remember the times that President of the Board of Supervisors, Malia Cohen, she was out there. Our late Mayor, Ed Lee, was out here saying that it's not about new promises, it's about keeping the old promises. We're going to keep those old promises and move things forward in San Francisco. And I want to thank our fearless leader who brought over $30 million to this project. Our Congresswoman, Nancy Pelosi, who's not only fighting for San Francisco, she's fighting for the country, all over the country. Yes. This is what success looks like. This is what it looks like when we have an amazing community that's coming together. And last but not least, I just want to say, along with the one-for-one replacement and the increase in the number of affordable units, many of you know that President Cohen and I worked on neighborhood preference legislation so that 40% of all new affordable units built in this community go to this community first. So make sure you apply, make sure your kids apply, and make sure you continue to stay involved. If we are going to make sure that San Francisco is a place for all of us, we all have to play a role in the success, and we all have to do a better job of taking care of the next generation of young people growing up in this city. And as mayor, I'm committed to doing just that. And I want to thank all of you for being here today and all the hard work. It pays off in this beautiful, beautiful development. It is such a great day. Thank you all so much for being here. Love you too.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Incredible. Anybody ever been in a community meeting with resident leaders? You can clap it up. Everybody ever been at the other end of the table where they said, Theo, what, you're going to fulfill your promises? This community was built by the residents of Alice Griffith. Let's be clear about that. It's my honor to bring up the president of the Alice Griffith Tenants Association and my friend, Ms. Fala Satele.
It's an honor to be here. My name is Fala Satele. Thank you for being here to celebrate with us. I'm so excited, grateful. Thank you for all the stakeholders to believe in us. It's not an easy task, but I thank God for the strength and courage. And also, I want to thank my special friend, Dwayne Jones. Thank you, Dwayne Jones. You encouraged Fala to step up and take the torch. You can do it. But before I sit down, I thank all of the residents to believe in my leadership, to each and everybody that come out to the meeting every month. Thank you so much for being here to celebrate Alice Griffith. And I'm going to call up some amazing residents to speak. Angelica and Sammy. Please welcome them. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here today. My name is Angelina Moore. I'm 21 years old, and I'm a third-generation resident of Alice Griffith, Burrell. My grandmother moved here after my father was born in 1969. Since then, my family has grown significant roots here. I have so many great memories and experiences in this community that have shaped the woman I am today. Just a year ago, I was homeless, and Dub Rock was the only place that felt like home. But thanks to the Phoenix Project and the support system that they created, I was able to move into my own apartment. This has given me a sense of independence and pride that all young people should have. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of challenges that come along with the adult life, but I wouldn't have it any other way because the bills don't stop, but I don't either. The Phoenix Project provided me with the amazing support I needed to get into the IPO program, to which I have been employed since August of this year. I am striving and praying to get a second job while finishing up school. As the days go by, I'm extremely grateful for the continuous support from my life coach, Brother Malik, at the Phoenix Project. With that being said, I know that I can overcome any challenge that is presented to me. I would like to acknowledge my family and the elders who helped pave the way for my current and future success. Thank you.
How y'all doing today? All right. I'm going to start this. Hello, my name is Samuel Vaughn, and I am honored and grateful to be able to fly all the way back from Dillon University of New Orleans to speak to my own community. My grandma, Laboria Moore, moved into Alice Griffith in 1964. Ever since then, my family has been raised in this community through good moments and the bad. I'm here to speak of a rebuild for the future. It was never easy for a young kid in those tan and green buildings to find a way out. I watched childhood friends get sentenced to life and childhood brothers get put in coffins. I've been in Alice Griffith my whole life, and I've seen more of my brothers and sisters fall than rise. It almost became regular to watch my people fail. Well, it seemed regular until it landed a little closer. September 3rd, 2015, I get a call from a young kid in the community screaming that your big brother was killed. I hang up, heart pumping, brain getting dizzy, mouth getting watery. And I tell my younger brother and mom, who was sitting next to me, was just said over the phone. We all break out in screams. My brother was declared dead on the scene from a shot to the head. But after faith of this community, family, and doctors, they were able to get him breathing again. I could say my brother's alive after 4 months of a coma. When I arrived to the hospital that day, the day my brother was shot, this entire community was at the hospital, and I appreciate that support, that's something I can never forget. At this time, I was a confused teen who didn't know if I wanted to pursue my dreams or follow my brother's footsteps. My decisions became cloudy after this situation. 7 months left in my senior year, I was a 4.0 high school football star, accepted into 24 colleges, but I end up sitting in a juvenile cell. At this moment, I felt like everything that I worked for was thrown down the drain. But once again, thanks again to this community and other leaders of other communities, I was able to finish out my senior year and chase my goals. This one situation made me tired enough to restart by knocking down my old buildings and rebuilding them the right way. That rebuild has led me to a 4-year university where I'm living my best life. Where we are standing today is not only a new build for me, but for the kids who have to choose between the court or the streets. This is a rebuild for the moms who have never lived in something so beautiful. This is a rebuild for the fathers who wish they could have provided more. This is a rebuild for the future. The reason I've shared my past with you all is to let y'all know that I've been there. I'm standing here today because I leaped over my barriers in my path, as we all can do. Whether you were raised in the Bayview, the Fillmore, or Antarctica, you can do it. I want to thank Nancy Pelosi and the City and County of San Francisco. I want to thank Mayor London Breeze for being a huge part putting our families in these houses. I want to thank all the elders of this community. I want to thank Theo Miller for not only being beside me, but being beside all the youth in the community. I want to thank my dad and my mom. I want to thank my stepfather for pushing me to my full potential. I want to thank you all for coming out to support. Thank you guys so much for supporting us.
Let's clap it up for our young people. Clap it up for these young people, Angelina and Sammy. Incredible, incredible. Malia, I'm going to save our fearless leader, Nancy Pelosi, next. Thank you so much, Sammy and Angelina. But I'm going to first bring up the president of the Board of Supervisors, Miss Malia Cohen, to offer some remarks. She has been a fearless leader, a fearless leader. Thank you, Supervisor Cohen.
Thank you, thank you. You know what, I'm sitting here thinking, I can't get out of my mind that Drake song, Started from the Bottom, Now We're Here. I feel like that's the theme song, Started from the Bottom, Now We're Here. Started from the bottom, now we're all here. Oh my God. Amen. Oh my goodness, family, we're here. We did it together. Let's take a moment and remember those that are not here with us to celebrate. The elders that gave their lives, the young people that gave their lives, that allowed for all of us to collectively be here today. Let's not forget. Let's not forget the roaches and the rats. Let's not forget the mold. Let's not forget hungry nights and days sometimes. Because it is through those toils and turbulent moments that we have persevered and we are here today. That makes victory a little bit more sweeter. Let's not forget whose shoulders we stand on. Let's not forget these buildings right here, because these buildings represent yesterday, and these buildings here represent the future and today. So when I think about the young people that are standing in colleges, that are standing and getting jobs, that's why we're here. That's why I serve. That's why we run for office. That's why we take this oath. Am I right, Mayor Breed? Am I right, Congresswoman Pelosi? That is why we come today to celebrate. Now, many times in my years, 8 years on the Board of Supervisors, people have looked me in my eye and said, this is not for us. And I looked them back in their eye and said, yes, it is. Watch. Watch. And so for those of you that have been prayerful, those of you that have been mindful, those of you that come to City Hall for public comment, that came to neighborhood meetings, came to Bret Hart Elementary School, here we are. Here we stand, resilient and strong. That's what the baby was about. That's what Alice Griffith is about. That's what Double Rock is about. Resiliency and vibrancy. When you look out into this neighborhood and you look out into the audience, I know many of you see a lot of strangers and you're probably wondering who these people are. But let me tell you, in order to make and to resurrect buildings such as this, it takes an entire community. It takes an entire city. It took Mayor Newsom. It took Mayor Lee. And it will take Mayor Breed to get us all the way over to the finish line, to make sure that no one is left behind, to make sure that there is zero displacement, to make sure that those that haven't paid their rent or not paid up, that we get you that help to help you to pay so that you can move in. And you know what? And once you're in, you got pride. Because this is for you. This is our gift. This is the manifestation of words and promises of yesterday that are finally coming real today. Congratulations, y'all. We started from the bottom and now we're here. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. She's been alluded to many, many times, but this would not have been possible without the most fearless, ferocious leader in D.C., and that is our House Democratic leader, the Honorable Nancy Pelosi. Please stand for her. Please stand. Thank you, Madam Leader. $30 million. Thank you, Madam Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. And a good afternoon it is. Let me say that I've come here to pay my respects to you and the respects of my colleagues in the Congress of the United States for being an example of national significance to our country, a place where a dream came true because of the involvement of the residents. The residents made it all happen in honoring the hope SF plan that when you left, you would all be able to come back, and what you came back to was shaped by you. Malia talked about our why. Wait. President of the board, Malia Cohen, talked about our why. We heard from these lovely young people. Weren't they unbelievable? They are our why. Samuel and Angelina, thank you for sharing your story. You give other people hope by the eloquence of your personal stories. We can talk about the facts and the figures and the statistics, and they are important because they make some things happen. But nothing makes it more happen than the words, the experience of our mayor growing up in public housing, from 14 years old being part of public policy to make change, throughout her career insisting that the will of the people in these housing initiatives would drive the initiative. Then as a supervisor, president of the board, and now as mayor. It brings tears to my eyes to hear her story, but it brings a great deal of pride to all of us to see this success and her personal as well as her official connection to it. Thank you, Mayor Breed. Thank you so much. And let me acknowledge the president of the board, soon to go on to higher office, Malia Cohen. And she just has been such a champion, as we heard. And she hearkened us to know our why. It's about our children and their future and the families that they live in and the pride they take in their heritage. But all of this, again, Vala was so eloquent in pointing out that this is a joint effort of so many different elements. Let me just say this, and really to say thank you. First, let me acknowledge Theo Miller. Theo Miller with Hope SF has made such a tremendous difference. When that $30 million came under that auspices of Hope San Francisco, listen to this. That was only one of 5 grants in the whole country. That was only one of 5 grants in the whole country. Thank you, Barack Obama. Yeah. But there was recognition that it would be used well, and it would be used based on the principles of residents coming back, residents calling the shot as to how this would go forward. And many of us have sat in the meetings and been, shall we say, impressed by the persistence of the residents, right, on all of this. We did hear when the beautiful prayer about our purpose. Thank you, Reverend, for the beautiful prayer about our purpose. But then again, it's also about the San Francisco Foundation and the fact that we are so blessed that Fred Blackwell was with the mayor when some of this started, and now with the San Francisco Foundation. Fred Blackwell, thank you, because public-private partnership with the link of a nonprofit makes this all possible as well. So thank you for that. So Samuel, Angelina, Fowler, Fred, Theo, Supervisor Cohen, the mayor. But again, here's the thing. Let me just talk a little. This isn't really politics, but you be the judge. I just got here from Arizona at the end of a campaign swing because the election's going to be in 4 days. I want to end my swing at home in San Francisco. I want to be at a place where I could be inspired by all of you, by your hopes, your dreams, your persistence, your ideas. You're just not taking no for an answer. Your why is our why, all of us in elective office. And there are certain things that elections make a difference on, and some fights that we've had to have for funding for that $30 million, for President Obama's insistence. But as we go forward, it's important to note in the public-private partnership, it was important for us to use your wishes to make the policy, the appropriations to make the grants, and the tax code to make it possible in a public-private partnership. Important to know the low-income housing tax credit was central to this, and to the private sector participants, thank you for using that for the good of these kids and their families, the low-income tax. So I mentioned that to you because we'll be having some fights. It was drastically cut back in the Republican tax scam that gave 83% of the benefits to the richest people and took away the low-income housing tax credit. We got it in another fight in another bill so that we could continue this. But these are public policy has consequences. Elections have consequences. I'm not here to talk politics. I'm just saying that they have consequences. Martin Luther King, he said the ballot, legislation, your life. That's what Martin Luther King said. The ballot, legislation, your life. So let me get back to saying respects and thanks to you, because when we go to sell this for more communities across the country, including our own, we can point with pride to say it is successful. It worked because the people most affected by it had a say in how it would proceed. And the young people who are affected by it, the future, can attest to that. So again, congratulations, Alice Griffith. We were here 3 years ago, many of us, for the groundbreaking. Here we are for the ribbon cutting. I wish everybody much happiness in your new homes. Thank you for making this such a success. Thank you all. Thank you.
Clap it up for Leader Pelosi. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And it's true. We have that little election happening next week, and she said she had to be here. She had to be here. You can imagine her schedule. I want to next bring up the developer, Richard Barron and McCormick Barron Salazar, and then Kofi Bonner is going to close us out before we do the ribbon cutting. Richard, brief remarks.
Mayor Breed, Speaker Pelosi, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here for all of you and the residents. I bring you greetings from Tony Salazar, my partner who spent hours and hours working on the development. Unfortunately had some health-related things with his family in Kansas City, and so he wasn't able to join today, but he sends his regards. There are so many organizations and individuals who have been part of this project that it really is quite extraordinary. These public-private partners, as Speaker Pelosi has said, have made an enormous difference in dozens and dozens of communities across the United States, really starting with President Clinton and the Hope 6 program, and then with President Obama with the Choice Neighborhood program. And these are things that happen in communities throughout the United States. We have been part of many of them. There are other organizations here today who have also done stellar work in San Francisco, doing these mixed income communities, and we have always enjoyed very much being part of it. We started here with Mayor Jordan and have been here ever since. I wanted to just quickly, of course, acknowledge the Hope SF office and the Mayor's Office of Housing and Community Development, the Housing Authority, and most particularly I'd like to have all of you recognize Mindy Turbov, the head of the Choice Neighborhood Program. She has been involved literally in dozens and dozens of these transformations across the United States. She has come today to be part of this, but they have done an extraordinary job in cities all over the United States, transforming communities like this one into new, vibrant developments, and have been extraordinarily able in terms of their ability to take public policy and work it so that it ultimately works for the benefit of the community. And I wanted to close my remarks after thanking the contractor, the architects, the financiers, all the rest of it. In the end, the most critical part of this program relates to the residents. And most particularly, I wanted to thank our Urban Strategies group, Isaac Dozier and his team. And many years ago, I created the Urban Strategies group, of which I'm the chairman, and I just wanted the mayor to hear what has happened here beyond the beautiful infrastructure that's here now in the buildings. 82% of the families have returned. 82%. We are hopeful that 90% will be here. And the other most incredible statistic, and I'm very proud of the Urban Strategies folks, within the last 5.5 years, household income with the Alice Griffith residents has doubled from $12,000 a household to $24,000 through the intervention of agencies and other organizations here who have been part of this mix. And we have had access to health care now with many, many families and their children. So we are very, very proud that this will continue. Lastly, I would want to say one last remark. After today, this development will move forward, but the importance of philanthropy supporting the human capital services in this development and throughout the city of San Francisco is just critical. The Choice program will be over in 5 years, and after that, the residents are still going to be here. There are still going to be new families and new children. And all of the things that we are working on now, job development, schools, health care, and the rest, is going to be very, very important. And we have seen communities throughout the United States with philanthropy and private sector companies supporting the continuing services. And I really hope that that will become part of the HOPE SF program. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Rich. I'm going to lastly bring up a great friend of this community, Mr. Kofi Bonner. Thank you, Kofi.
It is a great day in this Bayview, but many times it's a great day in Bayview. It's always sunny in the Bayview, as we know. You know, my grandfather told me that if you want to go fast, you can go alone. But if you want to go far, go with a group of good people. And I'm here to make sure I thank the good people who've helped us get this far. First and foremost, Leader Pelosi, thank you for your strong leadership and persistence in support of this city, and particularly this project. There is so much you and your staff do that goes unseen and unrecognized, and yet is timely. And let me say thank you on behalf of all of us. Thank you very much. Madam Mayor, I've always wanted to say that, by the way. Madam Mayor, thank you and your team for the continuing support. The larger redevelopment project has had tremendous support from your offices and many of your team here today, and I thank them. When redevelopment as we know it ended, your team stepped up to protect this project. Thank you to the supervisor and the president of the board. She has used her good offices to mediate when necessary and advocate whenever possible. And we thank her for that. Thank you to the commissioners, the redevelopment commissioners, the Office of Community Investment and Infrastructure. Thank you. Thank you very much. And to the Hunters Point Mayor's Citizens Advisory Committee. Thank you. Thank you so much. You know, you all worked with Mayor Lee and the Speaker to deliver the Choice Neighborhood Grant to this city. And then you approached us and said, in order to make this deal competitive, you needed us to step up and spend some money a little earlier than we had anticipated. We needed to bring the infrastructure on board a little sooner than we expected. But we said yes as true partners, and we spent the tens of millions of dollars necessary to not only be competitive, but to win. And it's all with your help. You have a great team. You have a great team, and we continue to work with that team on the remainder of this project. Thank you, Director Sase, and thank you to your team and your staff. Thank you. Several members of my 5-point team are here today, led by LaShawn, who many of you know. A stalwart advocate for this community, and we hear this community's voice in our ears every day in the office, which is great, makes us better. Makes us better. Thank you for your diligence. A very special thank you to the residents of Alice Griffith. Yay! Several years ago, I stood in the Opportunity Center with Michael Cohen, then the Director of Economic Development. And we said we're going to assist in rebuilding this community without displacing anybody. And you all didn't believe us. I think you were the most disbelieving. But we committed to you that we would create that plan. And here we are today. It is possible, and we couldn't have done it without the partnership and the support over the years from you all, the residents. And I want to thank you. In 2010, we committed to an ambitious plan to bring 7,000 homes in this community, 2,000 of which would be affordable, and 5,000 market rate. We committed to bring a variety of different homes, from apartments, condos, for the young and the old, and we've committed to do that. We commit to do that in this spirit of partnership. Today is when we say we are living up to our commitments. And we're living up to our commitments because we have this partnership. And we expect to continue to live up to this commitment because we believe in this partnership. We are committed to spending the hundreds of millions of dollars necessary to ensure that the current residents and the future residents will live, work, play, learn, and connect with the amenities that will be brought here, with the parks that will be brought here, with the retail, with the grocery stores, and all those other amenities that this community deserves. We know we can do that because we have such a strong partnership. And I thank you all for that partnership.
Thank you so much, Kofi. You heard it here. Commitment for hundreds of millions of dollars more coming to this neighborhood. So as my internal partner, Pastor Marquise Gray, says, you can pray while you walk. So I'm going to ask for my electeds and dignitaries to walk down, for everyone to stay seated, to walk to that ribbon over there.
Given unto us. This direction. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Mr. Blackwell, thank you for your service in this project.
Thank you.
I understand that not only were you instrumental in making sure that this community was built, but in fact that you had a hand in making sure the community also was able to contribute in developing their community.
Yeah.
Their had workforce as well as jobs development. I understand that the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development considers this project a success story.
Yes.
What would be your message to communities, not just in California, but throughout the country that is looking for the know-how to get this done?
Yeah, so, one of the things that we're proud of is the fact that we feel like we've done this the right way. And doing it the right way means that we didn't displace people during the process, and that we viewed the housing as an important ingredient towards a bigger goal, which is to make sure that we're putting the families and kids that grow up here on firmer financial ground and make them more stable. And none of that happens without articulating in the beginning what the principles are going to be associated with the development and staying true to those. So if there's one piece of advice that I have to communities that want to do this and do it in the right way, is to spend some time at the front end thinking about what the right way really looks like and really holding yourselves to that over the long time that it takes to get here.
Okay. As a leader yourself and a role model to others, any chance that you'll be running for office in the near future?
No, not at all. I love my job.
I hope you reconsider. It's nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Thank you.